tired of being a landlord and considering selling a house with tenants in it in Idaho? Selling a home with tenants in it can be slow, expensive, and difficult, especially through the MLS and a traditional sale. In this video, we'll go over some of the issues that landlords face when selling a house with tenants in it in Idaho. First of all, a lot of tenant-occupied property tends to be cluttered and messy, making it hard to sell because it shows poorly. People are busy, and it's really difficult for them to keep a perfectly clean house when they work full-time or more and have kids or pets at home. Since tenants don't have pride of ownership, often the yard is poorly kept and the house isn't furnished or cleaned really well. Even homeowners who have listed their own home for sale have a hard time keeping their personal residence perfect at all times, so it's ready to show at a moment's notice. And they're the ones who want to sell the house and get paid if it does sell. Imagine how a tenant feels who doesn't even really want the house to sell in the first place and feels that their home is kind of being sold out from under them. They're not exactly motivated in my experience. Also, most of your prospective buyers who come through the MLS are looking for a home that they connect with on an emotional level. And they have a really hard time looking through mess and clutter. So they're often turned away by these messy tenant-occupied properties. Secondly, selling a house with renters is made even more challenging because the properties usually need repairs and updating. Especially if the property's been tenant occupied for a long time, rental property owners can't usually afford to keep kitchens, appliances, bathrooms, paint, and floor coverings in sparkling new condition just to have tenants use and abuse them. It would kill your cash flow. If these items are functional, clean, and safe, that's usually good enough for a rental property with tenants in it. But that's not good enough for a buyer looking for a house to call home. A typical buyer's inspection will usually turn up multiple repairs and updates that don't seem necessary as a rental property, but seem very necessary in the eyes of a personal home buyer, and they'll usually negotiate these items off of the sale price during the process of a traditional sale. Third, most buyers on the MLS are looking for a home to live in and are planning to finance the purchase with a mortgage for a primary residence. If you're selling a house with tenants and your buyer is buying with a mortgage for a primary residence, they will not be able to get that conventional financing closed for your property. If you and your buyer withhold the fact that you're selling a house with renters, unfortunately, that's mortgage fraud. Real estate agents know this and they'll let their buyers know, which is yet another reason it can be difficult to sell rental property with tenants because you have a much smaller pool of eligible buyers. Fourth, just picture this. Your rental property is occupied by a couple who both work full-time plus and have 3 children who each have their own busy schedules of sports and school and clubs. And since you're selling a house with tenants, the listing agent will be required to give 24 to 48 hour notice to show the property, and they'll need to set an appointment with the tenants to do that. How motivated do you think that tenant's going to be to cooperate, especially given that they don't necessarily even want the house to sell in the first place? The answer in our experience is not motivated at all, which is another reason that selling tenant-occupied property can be so frustrating. The most motivated prospective buyers will often find a different property to buy before they ever even really get a chance to properly view your property with tenants in it. Lastly, most of your best tenants are people who plan ahead and they want housing security, which means that your highest quality tenants tend to leave as soon as they learn that you're planning to sell. This leaves you holding the bag of a property that's not only negative cash flowing, but has also just recently been moved out of, revealing scuffed up old paint, worn out carpets, and dated fixtures and appliances. This vacancy and maintenance can cost you thousands of dollars as compared to selling your rental property with tenants still in place and still paying rent. But fortunately, there's a better way. At Brady Buys Houses, we buy homes directly and we work with landlords who are looking to sell a single property with tenants or even entire portfolios. We buy with cash as is in any condition with no inspection contingencies, appraisals, or any of the hassles of a traditional sale. There are no commissions and we pay all the closing costs. Also, instead of bothering your tenants with dozens of walkthroughs, we'll only visit the property one time, and we're used to looking through clutter, mess, and deferred maintenance. And as investors, we can usually accommodate those tenants at least until the end of their current lease, if not longer. So if you're looking for a better way to sell your tenant-occupied rental property, either give us a call or head over to our website to fill out the form at the top of the page. Then we'll reach out to you and set an appointment to come meet you and to view your property. We'll make you a quick, fair offer that allows you to avoid all the common hassles of selling a house with tenants in it.